Road. Good to reminisce about Sugar Road. That's a long time ago, but I remember I used to randomly take y'all down just for the fun of it. And the hook was that I would drive the car like in a zigzag pattern, something to make y'all feel like y'all at a museum park or something. And I used to be loving it. I love it too. Yeah. He brought up some memories, some good memories about Sugar Road. Sugar Road. Sugar Road.
Like it should be. We were made to love. We were made to love, yeah. We were made to love. We were made to love, yeah. We were made to love. We were made to love, yeah. We were made to love. We were made to love, yeah. We were made to love. I'm swimming upstream trying to get away from you. This love seems too real, seems too pure. Where this is going.
Alright, you guys, welcome back to this portion of the video. So as you saw by the previous clips, we just left Carl's visual experience where he showed and debuted his visual out EP, I should say. It was amazing, Carl. Thank you for letting me be a part of this project. So let's go ahead and introduce you to part of the team. First up is Carl Ray, the artist, okay? Y'all need to definitely go link everything down below. And Blair, his manager. Now, y'all, Blair is part of the amazing part of behind the scenes, everything that you need from Carl, anything like that. And she has her own management company, so I'm going to link all that down below as well. Okay, so let's just get into the video. I rambled enough. All right, Carl, so how you doing, boo?
I'm well. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited. You already know how proud I am of you. And thank you for letting me be able to do this and let people really get to see or hear from you, I should say. You did a dope-ass job. You did a whole visual EP in COVID.
Yeah,
2 days.
2 days, exactly.
Yeah.
Early school times.
Period.
Exactly. So how about we just go into it? How did this vision come about?
So honestly, I was like, when I started recording for this EP, I wasn't really recording for this EP. I was just like, my main focus was just to be in the studio consistently. You know what I mean? Because I was getting back on my grind. And I think that consistency is key. So I was trying to master that first. And it wasn't until I recorded Smoke, Drink, Think that I was like, oh, like, I think that this would be like really cool on like a project. So yeah, so Smoke, Drink, Think is where it kind of like the idea kind of started to like actually do like a full project.
And how did you tell the team? Like, how did that whole like Blair's face? How did you tell the team on that? Like, in terms of how you wanted to go about that process?
I was actually at the start of this, Blair and I weren't yet in bed with each other. I was just basically, like I said, just going to the studio to be consistent. So it was just like, you know, one day I just, you know, we were kind of talking about it and I kind of asked her like, hey, like, you want to manage me? You know what I'm saying? And I think that she was apprehensive at first.
Indeed.
And then she finally came on board. And I, you know, told her that I wanted to do a project. And that's kind of like how I like broke I want to do a project, like I want to do like a musical project to like her.
Yeah, and y'all spit is so dope and amazing, and y'all work amazing together, and it's dope to see. I love it on my end, and it's inspiring. So how did you get into music? Like, what first inspired your love of music?
I come from a creative family. So I have a uncle who does like jazz. My father sings. My little cousin plays like every instrument, like almost every instrument. And I just come from like a musical background, so I was always around music. Acting was actually my first love because my mom was an actress, so that was like my first love. I didn't really like get into music like or like really know that I wanted to do music until I was like 18. So that's like kind of like when I wrote my first song. But before that, I like had written poetry and I wrote like plays and stuff that my grandmother has in like the archives. But yeah, so like basically just like getting back to your question. Sing, nah, like singing, like probably when I was like 18, I was like, oh, I want to do this. Like, I like this. Like, I can write a song. Like, I wrote a song. I was like, oh, I can do this.
So you go, oh, that's amazing that your whole family is just
Yeah.
like the creative piece. All right, so then explaining the EP, I already have personal favorites. But if somebody wanted to know like the gist of this EP, what two songs would you give them to listen to first?
So, okay, so my favorite song on the EP, it may not be like a fan favorite, but my most favorite song on the EP is "Love to Love You."
Okay.
And that's just because that's the first song that I really was like super vulnerable on, like, and I'm just not a vulnerable person. But it translated well when I wrote it.
Mhm.
And then I would say the intro, which is Sugar Road, because I think that it kind of gives perspective or it kind of starts the conversation like, well, what is Sugar Road? You know, even though my grandmother is like explaining it, like in the intro, like I still get questions about like, oh, like, what is it? Like, where is it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So those,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying those two.
And it's dope because you have the matriarch of the family on there starting that whole thing, and that kind of starts the journey. So
Yeah.
that's really dope to see. So can you share the backstory in terms of writing and for the EP as well, or just in general? Like, how do you like either? Do you go into like a certain space? Do you need like your candles? Do you need like what? How do you go about that process to get the juices flowing?
All I need is emotion or like
Okay.
a certain like situation. I may wake up and feel some type of way. Like usually like for me, before I start writing a song, sometimes I'm like in my head and I'm like thinking like, cause I'm a poet too, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a writer at heart. So like, I'll just like go into my notepad or I'll pick up like actual pen and paper, which I usually like to write with pen and paper. But I usually just start off with like a line or two. Like I'll come up with like something, like I'll just be like chilling in the house and I'll come up with like a clever line or something like that. And I'll just like write it down. And sometimes I'll build off of that. But then there'll be other times that I just feel like, oh, like I need to like be creative. Like I need to do something like I'm like creative and start going through tracks. I never really know what I'm going to write about because I feel like my emotions sometimes are like scattered. They're like everywhere sometimes. So I never know like what it is that I'm going to like, what situation I'm going to like touch on. So I don't really need much to write. Like I'm not one of those people that I got like the candle, I got to ding the bowl, you know, I got to meditate for 50,000 years. Nah, I'm not that type of person. I pray though. Cause I do understand that I'm working in partnership with God. You know what I mean? Because these are my emotions. You know, these are certain things that I'm experiencing, but I ultimately believe that God gives me the words. You know what I'm saying? And they just come out like whenever they're ready.
Yes, to that deep word. Okay. Well, then, quick question. Then, is that the same thing in terms of creative process? Is that the same thing when you're going into the studio, or when you're thinking of any type of visual? Because this can't be the first time you've thought of putting visuals to any of your music. Is that the same thing in terms of that?
To me, yes, because well, I have a very like my imagination is crazy. So I think about like a lot of things, like even like my dreams are crazy. Like my dreams sometimes are like action movies. So I just kind of feel like I kind of like listen to a song and then I'll actually think back to an experience, because something that people may not know is that like when I write, it's not really geared towards one certain situation. You know, it could be linked to like a romantic situation. It could be linked to a platonic situation. It could be linked to somebody that I don't particularly care for, you know, that maybe like once was a friend or and no longer is. So like I kind of just like think back to certain situations when I'm thinking about visuals and thinking about like how I felt, thinking about how much of the situation that I want to show like visually. But a lot of this is like I feel like a lot of like the visuals that you're going to see on Sugar Road, if you haven't seen it already, these are either like things that I wish would have happened. Like if you get into Love to Love You, that's something that I wish had happened. Or like Mom and Dad, which is just like a reenactment of some of the times that I had in my childhood.
Yes. And in terms of planning for, like, in your dream, so transitioning to making this into reality.
Right.
So planning how to do this whole visual experience, and Blair, you're welcome to join in as on this part as well. How was that? What happened? How did you accomplish that, especially in the early parts of the pandemic, to make your like vision come to life?
Well, I know for me, I'll say this: we spent New Year's together, Abby and I, at Jessica's house, and I remember, like, like talking to you. I don't know if you remember, but we were just like talking about a whole bunch of things, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm recording music, and I want to do like a project. I would love for you to style me, da, da, da. And I just remember like how on board you were. You know what I'm saying? I also had, like, before this, like, I had conversations with Dre, and Dre was like, oh, I would love to come on and like do some creative direction, like, just let me know. And, I think that Dre has a lot of beautiful ideas. You'll see that in Smoke Drink Think. He put the whole like bowl together with like the affirmation card, the stones, and like the sage. So he has a lot of beautiful ideas. And like when I was ready, I literally like called you. You
Mm-hmm.
was on board. I hit Dre. Dre was on board. And then the way like CISO and Fanai came in, Dre, like I was talking to Dre and I was like, we talking about like clothes and stuff. I don't know if he was on the phone that time. We talking about like clothes and stuff, and he was like, you better ask CISO. CISO has Reverie. You know what I'm saying? Like CISO and Rakan, they have Reverie together, and they were so gracious to like provide me with clothing for the shoot. So like I just kind of feel like everything kind of came together. Fanaya came in and she did the tops for the dancers, and she also brought in so many great ideas. I don't think that people know, because like I feel like the foundation of a house like is just like a shell, right? Like you just build a house and it just has nothing in it. But then you have to add like a couch, you have to get a stove, you have to get a refrigerator. It's just like a car. Like the car is like just a car, but it has so many other moving parts. And this started off with just like an idea, and then it expounded into something like bigger than what I could believe in. It pushed me creatively as well. You know what I mean? I know it pushed everybody that worked on this project creatively as well too.
And just to pivot off that, so y'all, if Blair and Carl's relationship, it's like this brother sister. We've known each other since we were young type vibes, and to see how well they work together and to see how they play off each other's strengths and weaknesses is really dope to see. How important is that to have in starting your career, and just to see what you're going to get at? How important is that to have?
I think that is very important because I feel like you want to have people around you and in your circle that you can trust. You know what I mean? And that will tell you the truth. You know, and I kind of believe like if you pop off and then you're like you got to get management, you don't have all this stuff, and they're like, oh, here, take this manager. Like you can't really like trust them. Like I feel like if I was to get a deal or something like that, that I have people that I can trust. You know what I mean? Like I think that it's very important to have people in your corner and in your team that you can trust.
Amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I think it's important that he knows that he has support there, you know what I'm saying? Especially because, the music industry, can be so tricky and challenging at the same time, which is part of why I had hesitation at first when he first asked me to do it. But, it was nothing against him. It's just the industry itself, unfortunately, all the negative connotations that may come with it. But I think especially him going through it, I don't want him to go through it by himself. So it's like, let's rock, let's figure this out. And as long as he knows that me and Brandon's not here, but Brandon's the other entity, that we have his back, that, he can push through this. And we make sure we give him that push too. Like, Carl, let's go. You got to get this done. So that's what we're here for. And I believe that's why, the support definitely works in this industry.
Yeah, I believe in that with the whole team though. Like I said, I believe that with everybody that I worked with, like I can trust you guys. Like I trust your judgment. I don't give a lot of pushback because unless it's something that I really, 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 really believe in. But I trust you guys enough to be like, even when it comes to style, like Carl, do this, like try this. Like some things I may be apprehensive to try, but I trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like you and Cecil, like I really like trusted y'all. I trusted the ideas of Dre, Fanaye, myself, even. You know what I mean?
And to push those boundaries. And y'all, Brandon, he, like Blair said, he is not here at the moment, but he keeps us on track and with these timelines and keeps us making sure. Because at one point, just a little backstory with the filming of this video, it was getting down to the wire, and the way that we cranked out that the rest of the videos during, because we were at a venue, it was amazing. He definitely did an amazing job with that. So shout outs to you, Brandon. Then that's a great pivot, because how long did, specifically those 2 days, but how long did that take, in, like, in terms of filming the whole EP visually? So backstory to that
question.
It took, so I'll say, like, we had the space for 15 hours. So I feel like because we did like an hour on the front end and like
on the back
end. So maybe like we started shooting kind of late. So let's just say, we're just going to say like all the indoor scenes were shot in like 12.5 hours. And then the outdoor scenes were shot in like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It
went really smooth.
Yeah, it did.
Surprisingly, it went very, very smooth.
Yeah,
it did.
Yes.
Yeah, fun too.
What do you think throughout this whole process? What have you learned about yourself?
That I'm capable. You know, that is something that kind of like sticks with me. I think that was the card that I put the what kind of cards was those that Dre had that day? Or the I forget what type of
affirmation.
The affirmation deck. Yeah. And he came up to me and he was like, pick a card. And I feel like I picked a card, and I feel like it has something to do with being capable, and just basically saying, like, it just basically tied into the whole day. And I remember just like almost crying, because I'm just like, I feel like I'm in the right space at the right time. I'm exactly where it is I'm supposed to be. And that is really something that I really learned about myself, is that I'm capable, like that I can do anything, you know what I'm saying? Because it really started off as like a little tiny mustard seed. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it grew into like a mustard tree. And I feel like, you know, one day you'll be able to look out and see all the mustard trees, because I plan on planting so many seeds with you guys, and like doing so much work and being really fruitful, and just being able to just like do that. So yeah, I definitely learned that I was capable and that I can do anything that I put my mind to, as long as I stay consistent, as long as I pray and put God first, honor my ancestors, and not even just my ancestors, not only honor my ancestors, but honor all of the people that came before me that have paved the way for me, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, even decide to embark on such a journey as this.
Yes. And y'all, just a disclaimer, because we always have to say, we did follow CDC guidelines. We were very safe. Everybody wore masks. Everybody's temperatures were done. Like all that. Blair and Brandon were on it. I'm just saying it for disclaimer, but we did it. We'll say it
was separate package. Everybody had their own separate,
exactly
friendly containers.
We social distance when we could. Like that was all things. Like especially during the planning process, there were Zoom calls. We weren't just all up in it, so it was fine. So yes, so I just wanted to get that out there. And how did your family play a part in just not only in the EP, but just your music in general?
Well, I just feel like I just come from a very supportive family. I will say that my grandmother, like, I feel like she is someone that has always like supported me, always believed in me from day one. And not saying that my other family didn't, but I just feel like my grandmother just made it known, like, you know, like I had a dream, like she never like made me believe that my dreams were impossible or they weren't attainable. Like she always, and this goes back to like being capable. I guess that, you know, that has always played a part in my life. Like when I think back now, like, you know, you have people in your life that are always like pushing for you and rooting for you and letting you know that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I feel like that affirmation card, like just thinking about it now, I just feel like that was like a full circle moment to everything. Yeah, a manifestation of like everything my grandmother like told me, like, or pushed me to do. Like, so I'm, yeah. I forgot what the question was, but because I had kind of,
you did. How does your family? How does your family?
Yeah, but even like my mom and my dad, are really like supportive. My mom is like my own little personal groupie. Like I'd be like, girl, but nah.
Turning up at the party too. She was so cute.
Yeah,
I was in front of that stuff for a minute. Okay, she was
listen. She said,
okay.
Yeah. And you know, my father, like I feel like my dad, you know, he's a musical person. But like I just remember over the years, he like, yo, you still doing your music? Like you should still be doing your music. Like just that encourage. Like even when I wasn't really doing music, like he still was like, you know, putting his little 2 cents in there and trying to like push me like forward. You know what I'm saying, to keep me going. And then like my brothers, you know, we all like are musically inclined. My brothers and I, like my middle brother raps, my other brother sings and he writes poetry. So they've, you know, have come with me to sessions, and like, you know, I have a very good, like my god brothers. Like I just remember just like starting out with like, I know I'm going off into like a story
No,
time.
it's fine. It's
Um,
fine.
I remember just like starting out, like, well, let me just go back. Like when I really first started doing music, I was with Aviel and Kat, and we had this songwriting group called Overdose, and we would get together, we would write these songs, and we would go to the studio. Like people was like gassing us, like, "Oh, like this is so hot!" Like hopefully I can find those songs so I can play them one day. But we had this song called "Lover's Lane" that I still love to this day. And "Tell Me Where You Want It." Like it was like I had some good times, and then I moved, you know, out of that relationship and went solo and started working with like my god brothers. Like I was over there rapping, I was singing, like, and I'm a pretty good rapper too. So yeah, I hope y'all see some of that like when I get into that little group. I mean, y'all heard it on Made to Love. You know what I'm saying? It's not included in the video portion, but it's definitely on the EP version. I'm doing, you know, I got a little verse on there, and then you'll hear I have some songs with some raps on there. So I'm excited about that. But nah, I come from
Abby.Ollie exclusive. Okay.
yes,
So y'all know about.
yeah, but no, I come from a very musically inclined family, a very supportive family. I've always felt supported in regards to like music and like pursuing my dreams.
Wait, so you touched on it. So how young? When was your first studio session?
I was like 18, maybe like 19, 20.
Okay, so you've been in it for.
But now let me tell you a story. So like my voice is different, of course. You know, I've never like taken like any vocal lessons, which I should. I'm gonna
I
write
did
that.
not know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down so that I can like really get on that. I think Blair and I were talking about that yesterday, but and I've never been like a choir, so like I have a hard time sometimes with like harmonies, like actually like getting the note, because I feel like I'm a lead singer. You know what I'm saying? I just sing lead. That's it, just lead. I was playing. No, but you know, I have a hard time sometimes with that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the question was, Abby. Oh, my first studio session. So my first studio session was with my uncle Reggie, and it was on Thanksgiving Day. He has a studio in his basement, and I actually wrote the rap for my brother, for my middle brother. Like I wrote some of his rap or whatever, and I didn't write any of the song. What was the song called? It was called I forgot. It'll come to me one day. But we went down there and we was like my oldest brother, Kevin, he was singing, and my cousin Dee Dee was singing, and then I got on the mic and my uncle like, nah, like you ain't, like I don't think that my voice was like
chill
developed
Yeah.
as it should have been. Or maybe, you know, sometimes people just don't understand because it's different. You know what I'm saying? I think that and that's another thing. Like some people used to tell me that I couldn't sing, and like that really deterred me from wanting to sing. You know what I'm saying? And to focus more on like my acting and stuff. But yeah, I know that was like, but my first studio session, I was like maybe like I'll say like 11 or 12.
Oh, that's dope.
But I didn't get to sing on the track though. Thanks, I'm sorry.
It was the experience. It was the experience. It's all good. So next question, what would you tell with everything that you've done? And I don't think people really understand the huge feat of just doing not only releasing an EP earlier this year with everything that was going on, but also just dropping a visual album and it not being, I've got talking to many people and everyone says this does not look like a first time like visual. It really doesn't. Like, I don't think you understand it. Like, it really does not look like my mom. Y'all know Mommy Ollie. She sent to everybody. My auntie's in Jamaica. My auntie's in England. She sent to everybody. But they all said, like, it does not look, even Remy, a mutual friend of Blair's and I's, he says it does not look anything like a new thing. It doesn't look, I think the word is amateur. That's what I'm looking for. It doesn't look amateur at all. So with everything that you did, what would you tell your younger self who is striving to do that or who is going through those tough times? Like, what would you say?
I would remind him that he's capable. Yeah, I think that it just all ties into that. Like believing in yourself you know, and even just like keep going even when you don't believe in yourself. Like if I knew then what I like, if I knew then what I knew now, like I probably would have been doing like a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? I probably wouldn't have let a lot of different things stop me. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of things happened to me in my life, you know, that really like stopped me, you know? Like just being a human being and not being able to work through certain things, which is why I go to therapy, which is why I'm in therapy. I believe that mental health is like super important. I think that everybody should go because we all deal with some sort of trauma, you know what I'm saying, that we haven't dealt with. But I would just tell my younger self to just keep going. I would tell him that, you know, there's going to be things in your life that are going to happen to you that are going to cause you a great deal of pain, but push through, keep moving. And I think that I've never stopped moving, but I feel like I stopped moving in certain areas of my life. You know what I'm saying? And music was like one of those areas that I just like completely like stopped moving in. But I would definitely tell my younger self to like when those situations happen to like find the strength to persevere and to keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to just top it off, so y'all, not only has he been working on like stuff earlier this year, but there is hopefully stuff coming in the future. So what can we expect for the rest of, well, not rest of 2020, but what can we expect in the new year? Any plans that you can share or would like to share? Will we
Yeah.
see you in upcoming shows?
So I just plan on working the shit out of Sugar Road. Like I spent like a lot of money, just not even just like with the visual project, but just like just recording it. You know, just going to the studio and just like actually like recording like straight through for like a full year and change, and just even like getting it off the ground and then putting it out. So I really just want to work it, and I just really want to show because I feel like it's so many stories can be told with Sugar Road. Like, yeah, you saw the visual, but now we got to get into the live stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to definitely do like some live performances, like once outside opens back up. But I do definitely plan on doing like a virtual concert, which I think is going to be like dope. It's now I'm just putting this out here, like it has to be planned properly.
Yeah.
So don't be looking for it anytime soon. You know, just chill with the visual project. If you want to see something, you want to see me, you better go on YouTube or go to carl-ray.com and look at the visual. You know what I'm saying?
I'll put the link below, y'all.
Yeah, because I think that another thing too is like when you're doing something independently, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're working with a team of independent artists, like things take a little bit more time just because like, you know, we all have our own individual projects going on. And not only that, but I think that planning is key. You know what I'm saying? Like how you said that, you know, your aunts didn't feel like the video was amateur. Like even though we literally like put everything together in like maybe like a month and a half, 2 month span. Like this wasn't like, oh, we just meeting like once a week. Like this was something that was constant. However, what I did learn is that I want to have a lot more time to plan, you know, because I'm low key a little bit. I think I have a pinch of being a perfectionist, and I kind of feel like if I would have had it my way, Sugar Roll probably wouldn't have been out just yet because I see things and I want to add things or I want to take things away or yeah, I just wanted to be like perfect. But you know, Cecil had a talk with me and like was like, yo, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like he's done, you know, projects like this before and I appreciated that conversation. And he's almost essentially the reason why you guys got Sugar Roll when you did, because yeah.
Listen, and I think as an artist in general, perfection is like being perfect or getting your vision how you want to see it.
Yeah.
It's always going to be like, oh, it's never ready, or hey, this could be done, or whatever.
But now also I understand that things are not going to always translate as I see them. Like I feel like that also comes in like with the time and like the planning. You know what I mean? Because even like yeah, we shot it in like 18.5 hours, but like I feel like I missed opportunities because because we were working off of a limited time schedule. And I feel like if we would have had more time, you know what I'm saying? Like I could have really like upped it a notch, but that's just the artist in me. You know what I mean? So like next time, like I'll plan accordingly. And I learned so much, you know what I'm saying? I learned so much doing this project, like so much.
And it was through through a pandemic. Like
yes.
that part, I don't care. Like that part alone is crazy enough. So wrapping up, really, so who do you want to work with in the future? Like, who do you see yourself in? It doesn't have to be, not only maybe it's like a recreation or like remixes on the EP itself, or maybe it's just with new work. Who do you see yourself working, whether producers, writers, whatever?
So as far as writers go, I really like producers. I really don't have favorite producers. Like I will really work with any producer as long as the production is fire. Like if I listen to it and I vibe with it, um, yeah, I'm gonna work with any producer. Like you could be just starting out like 2 weeks ago and you got some fire, or you could be in the game for 20 years and got some fire. Like I'm gonna work with you. But as far as artists goes, like Beyonce is like somebody that's like number one on my list because I feel like every generation has like their person that they look up to, right? And I feel like Beyonce is my person that I look up to personally. And you know, she looked up to Michael Jackson, and not to say that I don't look up to Michael Jackson, but because I feel like he was very innovative and like he was very creative and original. But I look at Beyonce and I look at her work ethic. I look at her creativity. I look at when she started off just doing these visual projects, starting off with B-Day, and like her growth from B-Day until Black is King is amazing. Like if you really like pay attention, like I paid attention like in real time though. Like I seen it like every time like she would do something, it just got better and better and better and better and better. Like Black is King is better. And the thing, I'm just gonna like veer off for like 2 seconds. Like I don't know if she thinks like this, but I definitely think like this. Like everybody like, oh my gosh, your girl's so fire, da, 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 right? And I'm like, damn, am I gonna be able to top this? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, how do you top something that people are just like, oh my God, like that they're so enamored with, you know what I mean? But she's done it, you know what I'm saying? I've seen like her do that, and she's like an inspiration in that sense of saying like, I could do that. I could top this. Like I can get better each time, you know what I'm saying? So definitely Beyonce, Jasmine Sullivan. I love her as a writer and as well as a vocalist. Frank Ocean. I would love to work with Giveon. I would love to work with Lil Kim. I'm a big fan of Lil Kim too. I would love to like do something with her. Like even if it never came out and seen the light of day, like I just would love to see like what a Carl Ray and Lil Kim record would sound like. I feel like I'm missing some. Oh, Jill Scott. I would love to work with her. I would love to work with Solange because I feel like her and Beyonce are like day and night when it comes to their artistry. And like there are so many things that I love about Beyonce, and there are also so many things I love about Solange. And I would just love to just like kick it with her, like just like write together, you know what I'm saying? Like to write a song together and see like what that sounds like. Erykah Badu, I would love to work with like Brandy. It's just so many people I would love to work with. Like so many people that I look up to, like Toni Braxton, I would love to work with her. Like I was inspired by her on Smoke Drink Think. If you like in the first verse, like the run, like when you grow up listening to these people, like I feel like I'm like a piece of like everybody. You know what I'm saying? I would love to work with SZA too. I think that we would have like a cool record. Oh, and as far as rappers, I would Jay-Z, like Kendrick Lamar. I would love to work with. I think that's it for right now. Did I say Jay-Z? Yeah, I said Jay-Z.
You did, yes. Put it all out there. That roster is crazy, and the vibes would be
too. J. Cole too. And Drake, I'm sorry. Because I think Drake is fine. Like, I fell in love with Drake with Brand New. I don't know if y'all know that song, but he was singing on that joint. And I was just like, who? My god brother put me on. I was like, who is that? And I just loved Drake ever since then. Like, I think that Drake is super talented, and I would love to like work with him. I would love for him to just hop on something. Like if it ever made it to his ears and he was like, you know, I would love for him to just like hop onto a record.
Put it out there though.
Yeah, come on, Drake. Like, if you ever see the Champagne Poppy, I would love for you to listen to Sugar Road and just like hop on whatever you want to hop on. It's cool.
Whatever song. So.
Yeah, whatever song.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, Blair and I, Scorpions, just say. Just saying. That's why we really hype. Okay, where do you see yourself musically when the world opens back up and things get back to normal, or where we can socialize without having to think of anything other? Where do you see yourself musically?
I see performing. Like I'm really in performance mode. Like I'm really just like, damn, I just wish that I could translate this art into like a live performance. Because I think it's gonna be beautiful. Like even just like the musical arrangements that I hear in my head, like how I want certain songs to transition, or like the little cover pockets that I just want to like little songs that I want to cover. Like I love rap, so you're gonna definitely see some rap in my live show, whether I'm singing like a verse from like one of my favorite rappers or actually like rapping it out. Like you're definitely gonna see that in my live show. So yeah, I'm definitely like looking forward to like getting out there, doing some open mics, and like really performing and connecting with the people, like touching the people, hugging the people. Yeah.
Yes, and yeah, I'm really excited for this rap thing because we saw a sneak peek of it, but I want to see Mars.
Now I'm not no hardcore rapper, you know what I'm saying, but I
Yeah,
love.
you need to say all that. You just said
Yeah.
you got it. It's all good.
But if you really wanna go though, like I hopefully people can tell that I have a way with words, because even in Dumb I said hold on. I said, I'm a big boy, bet 3 stacks on that. Do you know I was talking about Outkast? I was talking about Big Boy and Andre 3000, because Andre 3000 go by. Oh, I would love to work with Andre 3000. How could I ever forget? How could I forget?
Yeah.
Mr. Roses smell like boo, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, how could I do that? How could I forget about Sorry, Miss Jackson? Ooh, how could I forget about him? But no, I would love to work with Andre 3000. And I was just like, felt like an outcast. But, I'm a big boy, bet 3 stacks on that. Like, I have a way, like, with like my writing, that I kind of like write a song as a rapper, but in the melody format of a song, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Whatever. But yeah, I like wordplay. You know what I'm saying? And I like to use that, in my songs. But yeah, Andre 3000, if you ever see this, even if it's 10 years now. Oh, CeeLo Green too. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just thinking of all that I love and that I feel like has like inspired me in some way. But yeah.
Oh no, I would love to listen. I'm here for all of this. I'm here to see all those artists. That roster is crazy in a good way. Mm-hmm. So our last and final question as we end this interview is, how would you describe Carl the artist? Like if somebody's just meeting you, the gist of you, what would you say?
I feel like Carl the artist is fearless. Like I feel like that nigga is gonna talk about. Can I say that?
Yes.
Oh, I feel like that nigga is gonna talk about you. Whoever I'm writing a song about, they're gonna talk about you. They're gonna confront you. And then Carl, the person, like me, I'm very like sensitive and emotional, and I even though I'm hard too, like I think that I'm like a perfect mix, but like Carl, the person is very like, oh, I don't want to say that because they're gonna know that it's about them and it's gonna hurt their feelings. But Carl the artist, like, fuck that. Like they should never did that. This is the cause and effect. And just put it out, like even like with Dumb, I feel like that was my artist self writing something that I really went through. But myself personally, I was like, damn, like, do you really want people to like know certain things about you? Like, do you want them to know that you did that?
Yeah.
So I think that that's where the artist and the person like kind of like differ. But Carl Ray the artist don't give a fuck. He gonna say what he want. But Carl, right? But me, I'm gonna say what I want too, though. But like when it comes to like vulnerability, I will say that that's hard for me. I can stand up for myself, but to be vulnerable, it's hard.
Well, y'all, that ends this interview. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to link everything down below, from Robbie Ray Entertainment to Carl Ray, who is Carl Ray, not only his YouTube, but also his website, his Instagram. I'm going to link everything of that, all that down below.
Make sure y'all follow me. I'm gonna connect with y'all more. I'm gonna start doing some lives. You know what I'm saying? So like, make sure y'all follow me. Like, follow Abby. She's dope. She's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has this dope ass bomb ass channel. I feel like she has an amazing personality and she's just super dope. And I just want y'all to get into all of my friends. Like, get into all of them because they're all super dope at whatever it is that they do. And make sure that you all, and I said this at my release party, but I just want to take the time to say it really, really quickly. Make sure you support your artists. Make sure you support me. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go ahead and click that link down there and you buy it. Downloading is cool, but buy it as well because I put a lot of money into it and I want to get some of it back. But no, and let me just say, I don't do this for the money. I really do this for the love of it.
No, but
like,
for support.
Yeah. This is,
plug it. No.
But
no, it was merch. We'll get it too.
Yes, but you support your artists, you know, whether it be like your singing artists, like your artists that sing, or like your friends that paint, your friends that are selling like different types of merchandise. Make sure you support them, because the only way that we can get to like higher ground is if we support each other. Like, we all need to support. So let's support each other. Let's love each other. It's room at the top for everybody. Reach that hand back down once you make it and pull your fellow artist up. Like, stop thinking that there can only be one of you. You know what I'm saying? Or stop being so insecure that you feel like if you bring this person along that they're going to take your spot. What God has for you is for you. And whatever you're going to have in this life, you're going to have, because it's already written. You just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get nowhere by not helping nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can't have longevity if you don't help somebody along the way. So just help your fellow artists, help your friends, support your friends. Like, let's do this, because we can all be successful and we can all be wealthy, not just in money, but in love and in health and in spirit. Like, let's do this for real.
And especially after everything that's going on in 2020, that is a word.
Yeah. Hopefully,
y'all really did it. Like, he added our friend Justice artwork. You're gonna see it in the beginning of the video. He did, like, every friend that you could think creatively that he had, he actually used them and made sure they were shout out. So I've linked them multiple times. Y'all need to go.
I believe in y'all. I believe in y'all. And y'all believe in me.
Yes, we do. And y'all, it was such an amazing experience. Carl, I am so proud of you. I've said this a million times and I'll keep saying it. You did that thing. I am so proud of you.
And I always say we did that thing.
You did it too, but I'm just giving you props. Like, the vision came from you and it was amazing. And I'm so excited to see this. Y'all, it's only up and onwards from here.
Yes.
So I've said multiple times, y'all need to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and y'all need to comment. And if you have not looked at and watch, I've watched it at least 4 times already. But if y'all have not seen the video and the visual experience of Sugar Road, y'all need to go down in the description box below. Y'all need to hit up Blair, not only her personal, but her management. I'm going to link that down below as well. And y'all just going to be with it, because when it's already blowing up, but when it really blows up, y'all going to be sorry.
Yeah, you're going to be like, I told me first, so oops.
I mean... like, what took so long? So anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you all learned a lot, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.